Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Basically, sometimes the world, raining and not raining, it's just started here. So yeah, there you go. I see that Julie is watching today with her 8-week-old kitten. Well, photographs are required, Julie. You do realise that? We need a photograph, not necessarily of you watching, but the kitten, because let's face it, we're more interested in the kitten. We would love to see. So do put a little picture on the group page later. So otherwise, good morning, Jill, Sandra, Mary, Sarah, Pat, Shirley, Elaine, Heather, June, Sandra, Karen, Rio, Sue, Jill, and lovely to see you all. So as usual, on a Wednesday, I try to revisit something that we've already had, in terms of maybe you will have had the Poinsettia die, and I'm going to use it with the stamp that matches it, which came out a couple of years ago, and I just really love it. It's one of the classic of the Poinsettia things. So I thought we would have a go with that, and slightly different finish to the card, which is why I've got out some patterned paper as well. I'm on a mission, aren't I, to get you to use your pattern paper, basically. But I love pattern paper, and I think we just tend to sort of put it to one side, and if you're anything like me, get two pads, one to stroke and keep, and one to actually use. But nevertheless, let's have a go. So I have got the classic Poinsettia from John Next Door, and I'm going to use it with the stamp set that comes with it. Now, I haven't got the packaging to show you. It's that long since I used it, but just pop that to one side. But the stamp set was one of the old ones that comes with a stamp set and then about 6 sentiments and loads of different size little poinsettias as well, extra individual ones that you could just stamp on the back of the page, all sorts of things really. So it's not your normal one in terms of just with the one stamp set. It comes with quite a different range. So we're going to be using quite a bit of it today. So first of all, I want to stamp it out. So I've got a piece of Christmas red cardstock, the linen card, and I'm just going to use my anti-static bag over it just to take off any of the mucky paw prints that I might have. And I'm then going to stamp up my stamp set. So I've already sort of popped it into position, and I'm going to emboss, but I'm going to emboss with clear embossing powder because I just want it to have a hint of a pattern on it, as opposed to a gold or a silver or something like that. I just want a hint of it. Okay, so I'm just putting over my, I can see that I've got a bit of flip, whatchamacallit, you know, on there. So we don't need any of that malarkey. And then I shall just, whoops, press that over and just press down each of the individual flowers. Yeah, I suppose they're a flower, aren't they? So I'm sure that you've already finished all your Christmas cards, though, in all honesty. So I did think, well, shall I do a Christmas card or shall I not? But then I thought, well, yeah, they probably have all finished, but maybe there's one or two that haven't. So because it's the clear one, you can see on the red where it's come out, and hopefully you can also see, I've got to have the light on in here today because it's not very good. You can see the pretty veins that come up on there, really pretty. So I like that. We like that one. So I'm going to add some of the clear embossing powder. I'm using the iZink one, and it's called Transparent Vernice. Probably isn't pronounced like that in the slightest, but there you go. So I'm just going to put on the clear. So all this will do, the clear one, is just literally make it a slightly darker colour than the one that than the card that you're using. It'll take up that because it sort of reflects that cardstock. And that's the image that I wanted to create there today. So hold on, just warm this up a little bit. So hi Fiona and Roz and Jill and Di. Oh, internet problems, they're a nightmare, aren't they? Well, I'm glad you still have got some Christmas cards to do. Wouldn't be right if we'd finished them all, I don't, to be honest. So just whizzing this over. As you can see, I should have put the lid on that earlier. That will give you now just a darker shade of the shade that we've already got on there, which I think is really quite pretty. So then I'm going to take our matching stamps die set and pop that over the top, pop that into position. Whoops, got some tape to tape that down. And just run this through the machine. And I'm just going to do one large poinsettia this time. Sorry, being away from my thing. So let's just poke these out. So you can just make one large, or if you just wanted to, you can do just single layers on there. But I think they're beautiful, and they just shine as well, which they're not sparkling, but they're shining, and I think that's really rather lovely. So we've got our flower there. Now I've also cut it out so that we have got some green, because what I want to do is to do one large flower, one large poinsettia, and I want to have the green behind it before I make it all up. So instead of putting leaves and bits and pieces, I've decided to this time I'm going for actually cutting out the poinsettia die set on its own. No sparkly, no nothing on it, no embossing powder. And although I've got loads left over, which I'm not going to be using because I'm only going to want this very biggest one in this case, it doesn't matter. I may well use that at another time. So it's been cut out. And I've also used, it looks like my favourite at the moment, doesn't it? But it is for the Christmassy things, the pine branch set. So I've cut that out again in the same colour, which was moss green for these ones. So Christmas red for that, moss green for these. Okay, so then I'm going to pop that to one side and I'm going to bring in my card. So my card this time is an A5 card. So that card measures, I'm going to have to do it in centimetres, just under 15 centimetres by 21. So basically it's your A5, your A4 card chopped in half, basically, or folded in half, I should say. So the card that I'm going to do is going to be using some paper stock that I've used before. Which is from an old packet, an old paper pad. I think it was possibly Phil Martin, but I'm not sure, and it certainly isn't available on the sort of normal channels as such. So when it comes to measuring out how much I want for this, as I said, it measures just about under 15 by 21. Now, I don't want to be fiddling about with the sort of 0.8. So I'm going to say that the middle bit is 14 across, and then I'm going to bring that down to 20, so 14 by 20. So I'm going to cut out this piece first. Whoops. This is going to go onto the background. So 14 there and 20 onto there. Okay, so that's my largest piece, and that is going to go straight onto my background like that. So if you're not doing this size card, you can still make this card, but you just have to make sure that you measure whichever card it is first, so that you can be sure that you are getting that just right. So as we said, that was 14 across by 20, just making it easier, round figures and all the rest of it. So now I'm going to cut out some green card. So I'm going to cut out some of the same of the moss green, and I'm first of all going to cut a piece that is 14 across. Oh, sorry, move the camera. 14 across, like that. So that's 14 across there, exactly the same width as this piece, and then half the amount of that. So it was 20, so I need to cut it by 10. So I need to cut this piece by 10, and I'm going to keep that bit to one side. Okay, so I'm not going to get rid of that just yet. And then with this piece, I'm going to cut it so that I've got diagonal to diagonal. I want two, well, I'm sure there's a name for the type of triangles that they are, but I just want to cut this. So I'm putting the two corners of it right onto the cutting edge of the guillotine. And then I've got two pieces like that. Okay, now I said I wanted that piece, and I don't know if I don't want a slightly wider piece, but we'll come back to that one just in case. So that's my piece there, and I'm going to get around the right way. That's going to go absolutely over the top of that corner. So I'm not wanting to see the paper behind there. So that one was 14 by 10, and then I'm going to take a piece of white card and I'm going to cut it down to 13.5. So I'm just going down a little bit by 9.5. And then I'm going to do the same, cut the two diagonals. So taking corner to corner on my guillotine, just wiggling it around a little bit so that that is in the right place, like that. Okay. So I'm then going to stick my white onto my green triangles, which should give you a small border all the way around, just a very thin border. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to do the same onto here. Again, just a very thin border all the way around onto there. Okay. Then I'm going to turn them over, and I'm going to get myself some of the 3 centimetre foam and pop that onto the back to bring this up a little bit, because I want to sticky on there. I want to just raise this up a little bit. I'm just tearing it off. I mean, if you wanted to be very posh, which I'm sure most of you are, then you might want to just do it a bit more and cut it. But hey, we don't want to do that. Taking your husband out? What, get him out of the way, Fiona? Oh dear. But it seems like you're all busy making cards of some sort, so that's good to see. But, I think it has kept us sane in these last few months, and unfortunately, it looks like it's got to keep us sane for another few months yet, hasn't it, eh? I think we've just all got to make ourselves very, very busy and just not think about it all. Well, keeping safe, obviously, but just not. It's very depressing to listen to it all and know that we've still got further ahead to go. But we're always here, so there's always things to see and do over on the Facebook page and whatever. So always come and have a look. Even if you've missed some of them, you can always watch on catch up there. So, right. So I've popped them two on 3mm foam to bring it up quite a bit because I want to give a shadow type effect here. Okay. Now, I have decided that piece is too small. So I'm going to use another piece there that I had. So we just need to bring this in. So I just measure what this was. So we need to be 14 across again. And that is 7 across. Now you can make any measurements that you like. It isn't a problem. But I want to then measure halfway across just one edge. And halfway is there at 3.5, and then I'm going to do my fancy thing of cutting again. So I'm going to put the corner on the cutting strip of that corner there, but I'm matching it up to the halfway mark there. Okay, I have to say I'm going to have to turn it around that way because I can't see, the light is sort of reflecting. So it's the corner there on the cutting piece to the matching mark, which is halfway down there. Okay, and then we will take the corner again, and obviously we've more or less cut off the matching mark, but it just needs to be down to the point there. So I'm just marrying those two up like that. And then we need another piece. So this piece needs to be 13.5, which we've already got, and it needs to be 6.5. And again, we need to mark where halfway is. So that's 3.25. And just do the same again, corner to corner, or corner to middle piece, I should say, making a triangle. So lots of cutting today, lots of different bits and pieces. So we then have our little sort of flag piece, which is going to go into the centre just there. Aha! It's all coming together. Now, before I do put that into the centre, I want to put a couple of sentiments on it. And I've chosen them from the stamp set that we were using, which, as I said, is the Poinsettia one. So with it, let's take that off, we get our Poinsettia clear stamp, but we also get, whoops, let me just hold that into place and try and get it straight. Okay. So I have got, let's get around the right way, have a very, and also Happy Christmas. Now I wanted to be clever and try and get them both in. So I just got to check whether we can get them in. I think we can get them in, both at the same time. So let me just have a wiggle. I have to say it now quietly. Keep it straight. Okay. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to take my VersaFine Clair in Rainforest so that it's a green. Again, I've used green throughout, so I want to use that on this one. Just check I didn't move it too much. I'll put it back. Oh, it's a glue sticking to me. Get off. And there we've got our sentiment there nicely. And that is going to go onto there like that. So let's stick that down. And then we need a bit of foam onto the back of there. I hope your kitten's behaving, Julie. It looks like, well, from what I can see, you have put a picture. So I can't wait to see that. I'll turn that over, hopefully. Be a bit careful because I don't want it to smudge, because VersaFine Clair stays wet for quite a long time and I don't want it to smudge. So I'm just going to be a bit careful. Popping my, popping my foam onto the back. So just popping that into there. Now bring my card back in and I'm going to pop that so that it is meeting the corner over here and also covering the edge over there. Okay, so that is there. Then we can put our beautiful flower on. Okay, I'm going to get my moulding mat over here and a ball tool, and we're just going to go onto the back of it, and I'm just going to move the ball tool from the outer bit to the center of all of them. Okay, and then turn it over and then just a little bit of a wiggle and a push down into the center there. So then I'm going to take the next size down and do exactly the same. So I'm just pushing hard into this mat and pulling them back like that. Okay, I'm going to do a few. Not going to do necessarily all of them, but I want a nice full flower. So, but it's exactly the same. Okay, I think that I will go for 4 layers. So again, just pushing hard and pushing that ball tool straight into the center, then turning it over and pushing down firmly. Okay, I'm just going to turn my hot glue gun on. And then we get our embellishments back in. So we've got our poinsettia leaf. I'm going to do just a little bit of that, but it's going to be that way round, if you see what I mean. I'm not going to turn that over. I'm just going to do that the other way round. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of there and put that into the center and try and make sure that I've pushed it so that the green is behind and alternating the leaves. Then I'm going to pop that next layer down and again alternating the leaves. And the next layer. Nice full poinsettia this one's going to be. And then finally that little one. Like that. And then I'm going to put a little dab of glue into the center there to put one of my center gems, and then I'm just going to press down, and you can see I'm being quite sort of rough with it really. I'm not, you know, it's card and it's been reinforced really with the embossing powder, so it does make it quite strong there. Turn that off, can't decide whether I need that or not just for a minute. So let's move this out the way and we're nearly there. So I'm going to put into place to just have a look and see what it looks like first. Some of the foliage, which I think will look really lovely. Bring that there and there. Yeah, I think that's going to look good. So I'm going to get my ordinary wet glue for this first. I'm going to pop some glue onto the back. That piece is going to go up onto there. This piece is going to go down onto here. I think we all miss hugs. Do you know what? That's what I miss the most. Yeah. It's lovely that people feel like that, isn't it? And we, as I said, we're always here, you know, for anyone that sort of is feeling a bit low. Coming over and have a chat, because we're always around. And it's lovely to see people being supportive to one another. We don't have any people that are sort of, you know, not nice. We don't like not nice people. We only like nice people. Nay. I'm going to put my glue gun back on, having said I didn't, and my hot glue gun, because I just want, this is quite a hefty flower. So I've still got lots of bits and pieces left over, and I'm even thinking, no, I'm not going to do that. Hold on. Well, I don't know why it is, but why is it that whenever you want to go and put a certain colour sticker on, you can't find them? We're all right, don't you worry. Don't you worry. Let's put some glue onto the back of here. So some hot glue onto the back of there. Just hold that into position. I've got string of glue sticking around there. That's better. Now, I may or may not do this, so hold on a minute. I'm putting these on just lightly at the minute. What do you think? To gem or not to gem? Does it look as if it's now got an attack of the measles, or does it look, what do you reckon? Less is more? I'm not quite sure. Hold on. Don't know now. Oh, I think I like that actually, with just a few little bits there, but whatever. Oh, and I dropped it. Now I can't see it. Oh, blige. Don't know. Fell on the floor somewhere. I quite like the little bits of greenery in there actually. Some few extra little bits. Yeah, why not? I'm sorry if you've said that no. I just think it looks quite pretty. And yeah. But anyway, you know what I'm like. I just go fiddling on and oh, put more glue onto that one. Put some glue onto that one. So yeah, okay. So as I said, revisiting one of the older stamps, but they are still available, as are the plain poinsettias, and just making it into a different card, really, just chopping a small piece of card about, but also using some of your old Christmassy cardstock. I do, for me, think it needs to be a darkish colour behind. I think that I had a go with some pale ones and they just didn't work so well, because I think you need to complement this darkness with this darkish rather than this darkness with a very, very pale one, because there's a lot of pale ones I had and it didn't look quite right. But anyway, if you like it, that is lovely. If you don't, well, I'm sorry you don't, but I like it. So yeah. It doesn't matter what our craft is, does it really? If we're happy with it and if we are pleased to see it, then that's all that matters, really. So, that is the main thing, isn't it? But I quite like that. So now let me look at some of your questions. Oh, where are we? Well, you're liking it, so that's good. Yeah. Yes, October craft along class. Now, just whilst you're asking, yes, I'm going to put that on in just a short while, actually. Unfortunately, most of the people that attended last month would already know that I was intending to use certain products, and unfortunately, they're out of stock and they're not going to be back in. They will be back in, but they're not going to be back in time for that class. And so I have had to change it to version Plan C. You will see what it is later on. As I said, I will put it up in the next hour or so. So it will be going live in the next hour. And there are at least 2 dates, but I will try and add another one if it gets popular. So if it gets too busy, I will add a 3rd date, but there will be 2 at the moment, which will be a Monday afternoon and a Saturday. So I hope you've enjoyed watching that. If you want anything over onto the Maximum Craft, the poinsettias and bits and pieces I've put onto the Facebook Live product section. I will be back on Friday, this Friday, which is the 25th of September, which is then 3 months till Christmas, but just saying. And that will be with Fancy Friday. I think I'm going to do a fancy fold. I've got another one that I think would be quite nice for you. So, but you never know, I might change my mind. And I'll also be in the throes of getting ready for John Lockwood coming down to us as we're in the south of England to do a wonderful weekend workshop. You know what I'm like for that. And I know some of you are coming along to join in as well. So we're looking forward to that. So I will see you on Friday morning. All being well. Take care, everyone. Have a good weekend, good couple of days. Hope the weather's okay-ish for you. And most importantly, stay safe. Thank you very much. Bye.